Good morning, loves. It is another recording day of a writing day, and I'm not gonna lie, it is way past what it should be because I slept in not realizing it. I was like, oh, let me get a little bit of sleep, and that little bit of sleep turned into a little bit more than I was expecting, but I have been definitely exhausted, and last week was a busy week. It just felt like one thing after another, not in a bad way, just as far as it felt like there was a lot compact into it, and I had to get a lot of done, and I feel like this week is gonna be about the same, maybe not entirely the same, but definitely trying to get a lot done, and it's been exhausting, but sometimes when you need to get a lot done and the Lord is putting on you to get a lot done, He's going to give you the rest you need during and after, and that just felt like this morning was more so like let's sleep in for a little bit longer, and definitely asked the Lord and felt like the Lord was like, yeah, go ahead and rest because you need it. So yeah, it's a late start, but I'm going to go ahead and work on Hidden Shadows today, and we're going to basically be working right back where we were last time. I've noticed that I've been doing that a lot lately, to where I'll do a writing vlog and then do a writing vlog of the same book the following week, which is kind of fun. Maybe I'll have to keep doing that. But yeah, we're working on Hidden Shadows. We're going to try to work in Calston's point of view first to get done his chapters, so we should be able to get done in a straight line. I might jump around, I don't know, but the goal is, I think I got to get Calston's chapter done. Then I should have everything prepared to be able to get to the chapter I was wanting to last week with Maddie. So we'll go ahead and do that. And we might get into Tanner's. No, I think we do have to get into Tanner's. So I think it's Calston's, Tanner's, and then the point of view of that Maddie that I'm wanting to get into. So we're going to just see if we get to it or not. I don't know. Hopefully we will. Maybe I'll jump to Maddie's point of view since we have mostly a straight line anyway and I can jump around right now. So we'll see. And yeah, let's go ahead, and this is a super short intro because I'm still tired and still just like glad that breakfast was pre-made, because sometimes I do pre-make breakfast, and yesterday I made an extra large batch of some breakfast fried rice, so that's what we're gonna have, and I'm just gonna pop in the oven. And yeah, let's have a slow but not super slow start to the morning and get started. And I'm about to write. I feel a little bit better than I did earlier. This morning I definitely felt like burnt out, but now that I had a little bit of a slow start, which is not super slow, like as far as, and it's still just a little after 1 when I normally start, which it's funny because I keep trying to aim to start at like 11 or 12, but that's not ever been the case since starting these, I don't think, or not often been the case. So 1 o'clock seems to be about my aim to go. I watched a video to help unwind from the start of the day before I get wound up, I guess. And I got some photos. I figured I'd go ahead and start getting fall vibes for a short trailer for Distorted Reality for when fall comes. I will get photos for various different shorts ideas. That way sometimes it takes a little bit longer, sometimes it doesn't. But by the time it comes to needing a short trailer done, I usually have a folder with plenty of them to kind of compile into a little bit of a trailer. And so like I have like all of these. Some of them only have like 1 or 2 photos in them. Some of them have a lot of them, and then like the ready to edit folder just tells me which one, which I guess I need to delete that one because I just did that one. But it tells me which ones are ready. Sometimes I have to go through and just like check, because sometimes there'll be ones ready that I don't know about yet, which probably means, yeah, I need to go through again already. I try to keep a steady pace of it because I know that I'm not going weekly through the photos. Just sometimes when I have a rough morning or a rough day, I'm just like, you know what, I need to at least look up some photos, try to find some. I try to do public domain and like non-copyright photos. That way it makes it easier to where I don't think for the shorts you have to worry about that, but just in case, I'd rather not have to worry about it that way. So I did that this morning and already have been listening to music, trying to get an idea of how I want to start Calston's chapter, and I thought a fun idea, I think I got it, is I'm going to start with a dream and have it that way. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and do that way, because I did go ahead and clip his chapter, because his chapter was, it was Maddie's, Calston's, Maddie's, Tanner, but I went ahead and did Maddie's, and then Calston, and kind of like swapped it. So his chapter will be after, which his chapter might be another long one. I know the last one, because they were so long, I did them as a week of themselves, both his main chapter and the flashback, and that might be the same case this time around too. We will see, because I have an idea for the flashback that might be a little bit of a longer one. At least, like, my goal or my go-to is, if the main chapter, or like if the chapter is about 6 pages or more, then it's usually a week of its own. And if it is a chapter that isn't a flashback that's 6 pages, or like, for example, the main chapter, if the main chapter is 6 pages or more and the flashback is relatively short, like 2 pages, then I'll keep it on that. But if it's 6 pages or more on the main chapter and then the flashback is roughly about 3 or more pages, then that will be on a week of its own instead of combining them. So that's what happened last time with Calston's, and that might happen this time. I don't know. I'm not trying to make it to where I don't post both on the same week, but I know that I do have extended ideas for them both that I can go ahead and write them a little bit longer, so I'm going to go ahead and try to write them a little bit longer. Not to get them in their own weeks, but just because I kind of want a little bit longer chapters, since it's been a moment since we've had Calston's point of view, and this gives us a little bit more of him. And yeah, so that's what we're going for, is we'll do Calston's first. I will probably, I don't know, I feel like I could jump, so maybe I'll jump, and then if we have enough time, I'll go back to do Tanner's. But I think I might do that. I don't know. It just depends on what I'm feeling like when I'm done with both the Calstons. Yeah, but I think that's about it. So we're going to go and do that. It's going to be dream sequence for both, and probably a little bit of outside of the dreams for both as well, but definitely starting with the dream. So let's get ahead and get on into it. I got my coffee. Already have been drinking the majority of this. Probably only a few sips left. Definitely was helping me adjust to the morning. But yeah, let's start. Okay, so change of plans. I ended up swapping Calston's chapter back before Maddie's because it kind of is going to be lengthy, but I found a place to cut it off. So instead of having one super long chapter after Maddie's point of view, I'm going to split his chapter in 2 and do one before and one after, and I think that works out well. And I might just end up doing all of his because it's nearly 4 o'clock and I'm still working on his point of view for his main chapter and still have to get his flashbacks for both, if not at least one chapter, because I'm still going to do the dream sequence probably on the first chapter, and I'm going to have to figure out what's going to be for the second chapter, as because it basically took a turn I wasn't expecting it to take, and hopefully with the new idea for the second half of the chapter, or the secondary chapter, I will get the idea for what the flashbacks should be, and it won't be so hard. But yeah, that's what I'm working on. Another one of Calston's point of views, which I think will work out well, because basically we're going to find out some more information for the main storyline, and kind of Calston is an avenue for the readers to get information. Calston amongst others, but definitely Calston is one of the main avenues that I'm going to, I guess, use, since he's digging into the things. So we got to figure it out. And yeah, I'm about to have lunch. Like I said, it's almost 4 o'clock and it's pretty late. My lunch times are usually pretty late because that's just how it works for me and my schedule, because my breakfasts are usually pretty late. So it works out to the benefit of what it needs to be. So yeah, let's go to lunch and keep writing. I don't think I'm going to take a break, as far as in this was my break. I got some dishes done and made some lunch, and so I'm just going to eat while I try to finish the chapter and try to at least get some kind of short flashback, because I want to get, my goal is to get usually at least 4 chapters each time I get into it, at least, to stay on track of having a little bit ahead, because I need to have that's just where it works out. So that is the goal, of trying to get at least 4 chapters to stay on track. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do that. Well, it is another late night. It's already almost 8 o'clock, and yeah, that is super late, but I just wanted and felt like I needed to get done while I was getting done. It wasn't necessarily a hard chapter. I wasn't having a hard time writing, but it definitely felt like intentional chapters. Like I had to do a lot of thinking about it, of just like taking it, I wouldn't even say necessarily slow, but I did end up taking a break at one point of having to do some research for when the sun sets and rises, to kind of get an idea of like proper time. So it wasn't like necessarily the sun is dark, but I'm saying that it's darker than it should be. The sun is dark. The sky is dark. Whatever. So I don't say the wrong time and reference the wrong thing. I try to keep a little notes of when the seasons change, of just like as far as when the sun's setting and all that, so I can have a little bit better reference guide of how to contextualize the proper illustrative words. I can't think of it. But yeah, I only did 2 of Calston's chapters. It was only 12 pages. I'm glad that I did split that chapter in half, because it did work out well, but it just, like I said, it wasn't necessarily that I was burnt out or that I didn't want to write, or like it was enjoyable, but it just, I don't know. I didn't even stop, I feel like, more than I usually do. It just felt like I had to take it slow. There was moments to where I just was trying to just like get it right, I guess, because
this chapter just felt like it more so, or guest chapters, but like it needed to be gotten right more so. Like I had to make sure that it was, I don't know, right. There is a, I won't spoil it, but there is like a major thing that happens. I guess a couple major things. You do definitely get a little bit more Bailey and Calston time of their friendship dynamic, and just like, I enjoy that. Like I wasn't going to at first, but I was like, you know what? I think that would be nice of like them having a little bit of time together, because they are neighbors. They do like to enjoy time together. And so I went ahead and shuffled that into the chapter, and I don't know. It worked out well, like the way it is. The story definitely storied itself today, to say the least, as far as, and it definitely took turns I wasn't expecting it to. The most I knew was Calston was going to have a dream and go to sleep, and we did get that, but we got a whole lot more. I feel like there was a lot packed into these couple chapters, I feel, at least. But like I said, I got about 12 pages, so I probably will not be recording the next week. I'll probably do Peter's Shadow instead, and so, to say the least, I will be trying to work in both of his flashbacks and try to get them done, because I usually try to, unless I'm jumping ahead, I try to keep in line the flashbacks, like as far as in, if I get a main chapter done, get the flashback, but sometimes I will jump ahead to wanting to work on a chapter, and since these weren't necessarily jumped ahead chapters, I thought of a fun idea that I could possibly do. I think I could have the flashbacks kind of conjoining, because I do that sometimes, and since it is kind of like a joint scene, having the flashbacks as a joint scene, so I could definitely go that way. I don't know. We'll have to figure it out when it comes to next week. But yeah, that is it for me. That is it for this. And this might be a short vlog. I'm not sure. I don't think I've had a lot to discuss about that. I'm just more so definitely still burnt out. I'm not like burnt out, but it's definitely like makes it hard to think right now, I guess, is the way I can say it. So trying to figure out, like, my mind's always working all kinds of racing, like, my mind's always racing with all kinds of different thoughts, and when I get to a certain level of burnt out, to where it's not necessarily like hitting a wall burnt out, it's kind of like the exhaustion works to my benefit, of to where I can see in a straight line more so than I normally do with my brain and how it's scattered about. And right now it just seems like it's slowed down more so than it has. So I guess that's why you're not getting a whole bunch of rambles, just a bunch of rambled words, jumbled words, a lot of words I can't think straight. But yeah, I pray blessings upon you all. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good whenever it is for you. It is evening for me, so good evening to you. Goodbye.